My name is Natasha Sutherland. I'm a co-owner at Stein Farms, LLC, out in LeRoy, New York. I'm actually the third generation on this property, but in terms of family, I'm a ninth generation dairy farmer. I'm really blessed to be on the property with myself, my brother, my cousin, and my father. My uncle has just recently retired from the business. We have about 1,000 head of cattle here on this site with our heifers housed just a little bit down the road. The joy I find of this place is that everyone has their own puzzle piece that they get to manage and take care of. So I am so blessed to be the cowgirl, and I get to spend all day with these beautiful ladies. My brother is the diesel mechanic on property. My cousin Nate is the nutrition manager, so he handles feed in and manure out, while my dad is more the logistical brains of the operation today and is slowly retiring his way out. Currently, we have 18 full-time staff members to take care of our beautiful girls and the land that we are lucky to be stewards of. We have an 11-acre footprint on the main farm site, and again, the heifers are further down the road with another 2 smaller properties that they're housed on. So I began my career in ag like any other farm kid, bottle feeding baby calves with my mom as like a 4-year-old. Eventually came up through the ranks, started milking cows when I was 13 or 14 on the weekends, and went off to college to get a degree in animal science. At first I said I would never come home to the farm, and now I know this is the only place I ever want to be. I actually left the country for a number of years and lived in New Zealand and learned a completely different style of agriculture. And then I was very lucky enough to be able to come home and become a partner. At the time it was 2 uncles, my brother and my cousin involved, and now I've been able to join the ranks here at the farm. We take stewardship of our land incredibly seriously. The government defines us as a CAFO, a concentrated animal feeding operation. Basically, it's a big long term for a cow farm. But what that means to us economically is we have to make sure that we record nitrogen in, nitrogen out, phosphorus in, phosphorus out. So it's all about making sure that the nutrients that we're putting into the soil are being harvested by the crops that we're taking back out of the soil. This includes manure management, this includes fertilizer. When I talk about fertilizer, I am also talking about liquid manure. There is some chemical sprays put on in terms of fertilizers, but very minimal and at much lower rates than what people understand or even consider. It's actually quite interesting when you compare what we're allowed to do versus what chemical sprays are done on people's lawns to make them lush and green. When it comes to harvest time, we're measuring everything that's coming out of the field. We're weighing each and every truck, going across weigh scales to make sure that we aren't over abusing or taking away too much from the soils. It's a true honor to be able to own the land and harvest the land, but also maintain the land for our children. I talked earlier about I'm a 3rd generation farmer. I'm actually a 9th generation farmer in these United States, and that I take as a true blessing in my life. And right now I'm raising hopefully a 10th generation, and I want this place to be ready and productive for them when they're ready to be here. A new development on the farm, or a new adaptation to help us continue to make sure that the environment is our focus, is a covered manure pit. With this system in place, we're keeping rainfall out of the manure, and it can get treated as actual gray water, reusable, useful water. But the manure inside also is trapped, so we're not having air pollution issues and maintaining good relationships with our neighbors. An ad that we take out every summer is probably one of the simplest things that we do for our neighbors, but it probably makes the biggest impact is, hey, have you got a wedding? Have you got a barbecue going on? Let us know. And literally we'll make sure that we're not spreading manure next to your field when you're trying to have friends over. It's a small thing, but it is all about neighbor relations. It is all about taking care of each other so that way we can keep going and working forward in the future together. So this is our original barn that was built in the 1950s, added onto in the 60s, added onto in the 80s, and then finished in the 2000s. I guess what I want to share with you here is that we evolve, we grow, we change. We don't always get to throw away the old, so we keep adapting it. The cows here eat out of what's called an H-bump. It's not normal, it's not their preferred eating system, but it works, and we keep adapting and helping them by adding new lights over the top to make it look more appealing, and by making sure that we don't overstock this pen. And actually, if you want to know something silly, I keep just my grandmas in here. It's all 4th lactation and over cows, big old girls that just need a little more space and a little more time, and they give each other a little bit more of a break when they're there eating. So we've got my girlfriend 257 there in front of us showing us her tail so very beautifully, and I guess what I want to share with you is that we don't actually dock tails anymore. It was a really big issue for the industry and a change in culture for us. You know, we firmly believed that a dirty long tail meant for a dirty milking parlor, made for dirtier milk product that we had to clean and take better care of to give to you. And what we come to realize is actually it's all just about barn maintenance. If we take care of our barns better and we make sure that our alleys are super clean, we can have these beautiful fluffy-tailed cows walking around in a commercial dairy. So it was really a mind shift for the industry that, in a way, I'm really grateful for. The joy of being a cow is that you literally only go to work for maybe an hour a day, maybe an hour and a half. So these girls are literally headed to work. They're gonna walk about 150 feet up this little ramp. They're gonna go to the milking parlor, they're gonna wait their turn, they're gonna get milked. Milking itself takes about 7 minutes. And then they're gonna turn around and they're gonna walk home. And there they get to eat, sleep, relax, get a back scratch on their back scratcher, have a little salt lick at their treat trough. Because what you and I think of as treat, they do not enjoy. Trust me. We tried to feed the cows chocolates one time, they were not impressed. And then they literally do it again in a couple hours time. I mean, they are only milked 3 times a day. It's a pretty cruisy life that they're pretty blessed to have. So this is where the magic happens. This is literally the main milking parlor. So girls are in here 3 times a day for about 7.5 minutes, and then they head back to go and relax and eat and drink and be merry. The one neat technology we've been able to adapt in the last year and a half is a partnership with a company called Detect. So Detect is actually making it easier for farmers to collect data about their cows. Everything goes through the box. I mean, individual milks go through the box. They are using light scattering technology to be able to detect different things in those pictures they're taking of the milk. They send it up to the cloud, they run crazy algorithms, they send it back down, and then within 2 minutes of ending milking and me shutting down the parlor, everything uploads into my computer, and I can tell you on a daily basis everyone's fat in their milk, everyone's protein in their milk. And with those 2 numbers, I can tell you if they're getting foot diseases, or I can tell you if they're getting almost like a ketotic event, like if they are getting slightly ill from too much heat exposure. They can also tell me her somatic cell, which is a health indicator for the cows. I can tell you if she's pregnant, if she's open, if she's ovulating, which are all reproductive standards that we actually follow and track very closely, because at the end of the day, you can't make milk without making a calf. So this is truly the nerve center of where we live every day. So literally we don't buy grain calf starter. It's too expensive in this day and age. We can't afford to do it. So we make our own calf starter. So there's literally cottonseed in here for fat. We've got ground corn in here. We've got ground triticale, which is a type of wheat and grass hybrid. We've got soybeans mixed right in there, and it's a little bit floury compared to what I like, but the cows love it. It's really nice and soft on their tongues when they're first learning how to eat grain, which is super helpful. And then the other thing we do that's weird is this is the same exact food that you would have seen their mothers up eating. We don't do anything different for their diet. We teach them exactly what mama ate, so that way their palate is ready for it, and there's none of that transition bump later on in their life. So we let them literally eat what mom would have eaten, which is exactly what they would have done out in nature. So here I have a group of weaned calves. So basically, picture it this way. When a calf is brand new and born, it's in the nursery. It's just like when you had your baby and they had them in the individual little cribs in the NICU, right? Or in the nursery at the hospital. Once you're big enough, you get to graduate into like kindergarten or pre-K, and you get to get socialized. And basically this is a calf's first introduction to socializing. And here I have a very friendly little lady showing you what socializing is all about. It's all about learning how to interact with your pen mates, and eventually your herd mates, and eventually how you're gonna fit into the whole program. And this little beauty is showing us how to do it just by being social and learning, what's appropriate and what's not appropriate to do with your friends. Like, you shouldn't stand on your friends, but you can suck on your friends and say hello to them. Yes, you can, but we shouldn't step on our friends. No, we shouldn't. Don't step on our friends. Thank you. So I'm down here at my heifer facility with my breeding group of girls. Now you'll notice they're the breeding group because they all have tail paint on their butt. So tail paint indicates that they haven't actually been mounting on each other, which is exhibiting estrus behavior if you want to talk the scientific terms. But basically it's who's ready to ovulate and therefore get bred to be able to make a baby, to be able to someday make milk and join our milking herd with the rest of our mature animals. They're at a separate facility literally for, again, what we talked about earlier, manure. We want to make sure that we're really careful about how much manure we store in one position, space, and how far we have to haul it so that we get that nutrient load spread out really evenly across our entire farm, but also efficiently. Because again, carbon and all those gas emissions we're putting off into the atmosphere play a part in what we do every day. So this facility really plays a lot of different roles in our management. One of the mottos here at the farm is cows come first, and I try to keep that front and center in my mind every day. And in terms of cow care, that's where I really do focus. You know, if it's taking 10 minutes out of my day though to make sure that a animal has a better calving or a better success story for her day, I think that's the most important thing that I can do. A way that we keep that focused front and center at Stein Farms is we partner with new companies that are coming up with new ideas, new technologies, new vaccinations sometimes. So right now I'm actually working with a company called Healthy Cow. If you spell it the other way, it's Heal Thy Cow. And it's actually a proactive way to make sure that we're preventing a type of infection called metritis in cows. And it's the neatest thing to me because who hasn't heard of a probiotic? It's literally a probiotic for your cow. And I love that concept of let's be proactive. Let's, step back from she finally got sick. Now I'm going to treat her with an antibiotic. And let's proactively give her something that's going to prevent it from even happening. And that concept really spoke to me as a mom, as a consumer myself, and also as a farmer who's looking out for the welfare of her cows. So that's a picture of Bud Stein right around 1956 when he bought his first new tractor ever. And actually we still have it, and the boys are rebuilding it this summer out in the shop on Saturdays. And I just love that we still have that little piece of grandpa here with us every day. Something you may have seen in the video that I never got a chance to talk about were our collars. So our cows have these amazing collars on them, and it is literally a Fitbit, but for a cow. Every time they take a step, it records it. Every time that they have a rumination, which is where their stomach moves while they're digesting their food, it's recorded. You can get ones that do temperatures constantly being recorded on the cow. You can get them so they hook actually into that milking system I was discussing earlier. So that way, literally as the cow's getting milked, that's getting real timed into your computer system so you can check on all this mega data, get it controlled down to little data that we have time to actually look at and understand and really pick out who's not doing well. The algorithms can run for you and figure out, who's your sick animal, who's your healthiest animal, and you can really focus on those extremes and make sure that they're doing all right. And I want to close today with a thank you for watching and my why. The reason I love doing what I do is the life I have been so lucky to have. Every day I get to work with not only my mom and my dad and my brother and my cousin, my uncle, but my husband and my children are right here with me. Almost every day, I get somebody up here visiting, somebody up here with me, somebody working and watching their wonder and their joy as they discover something new here to love. Be it a brand new kitten, be it a brand new calf, be it a favorite cow. One of my boys, his favorite cow is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and she's gonna have another calf and it's gonna be a heifer. And I just really hope she gets a cute number to go with it because he loves following her through her life. And those little joyful moments are why I do what I do.